Welcome everybody. This is Jason and the name of this week's workshop is Baby, You Can Drive My Car. This is an advanced joining workshop. We're picking up right where we left off from the previous workshop. We're joining a vehicle with multiple complicated joints like a car. So I understand the basics of object joining. How are cars different from other jointed objects? Cars tend to be a bit more complicated because they have multiple joints. At a minimum, you've got 2 doors, 4 wheels, and a root joint. Whereas with trucks, you have even more joints. You have a tailgate, and you also have the toolbox lids. What steps are involved in making a car? To make a car, you must export a Maxis template, import your mesh into Milkshape and subdivide it, link the correct components of your mesh to the animation skeleton, and replace the GMDC. To begin, we're going to clone the appropriate vehicle in Object Workshop. So whatever vehicle we're building, we need to clone the Maxis vehicle that most closely matches that. Vehicles can be found in general cars. So we're going to clone the object, then we modify the CTSS, OBJD, and TXTR as we normally would. Then we select the GMDC in the resource tree and we select the TS locator GMDC in the resource list. This is the one that has the animation skeleton that we need. We right click on that resource and we select extract in the dropdown and we just export that to our project folder. Then we open Milkshape. We select import Sims 2 Unimesh version 4.09 and we import the 5GD. Once we import it, we're going to see all of these little blue dots. This is the animation skeleton for Maxis objects. It's a little bit different than for clothes, but if you don't see the little blue dots, hop over to your joint tab and make sure that show skeleton is selected. Then in joints, we need to figure out what goes where. So over in the joints tab, we select draw vertices with bone colors. And that's going to show us how each of these joints is assigned. So this is going to be a lot like last week. We just need to assign joints. So what we can do, we can go over to the joints tab and unselect draw vertices with bone colors so that we can just see how this is put together. Then we select each individual joint and we need to assign that. So for example, we figure out which one is the left rear. We assign that to the left rear wheel. Then we assign the right rear, the right front, the left front, the doors, the tailgate, the body, everything. We just assign everything to a joint. When we're done with that, we can hop back over to the joints tab, reselect draw vertices with bone colors, and just double check that everything is assigned to the correct joint. Once we're done with that, we need to regroup the subsets. So we hop back over to the groups tab. And then for each subset, we're copying the name of the Maxis subset and pasting it over our subset, the subset of the new model. In this case, for example, surface, everything that's part of the exterior, for example, the outer doors, the body of the truck, the wheels, the tailgate, all of that can be regrouped into surface. And then I have, because of the way that my model is mapped, I have a separate subset for interior. So I just group the door interiors and the base interior as one group. I rename it interior, and then I rename all of the glass and the lights into the appropriate subset names. We save in Milkshape and we're ready to export. We export as a 5GD. So we go File, Export, Sims 2 Unimesh Exporter version 4.09. We just export that right into our project folder and give it a unique name. With the GMDC still selected, we right click on the TS locator resource and we select Replace in the dropdown. We replace it with the GMDC that we just exported. And then we would finish up any small details. Like in my case, I would add the subset for the interior. Once we're done with that, we're ready to test it in game. Okay, so how does this look in practice? Well, we're going to find out. So as you can see, I've got SimPE open. We're on the Object Workshop tab, and we're going to General, Cars. For the purpose of this workshop, I need the SMORD. So I grab the SMORD from right here. Go next. Clone, don't change anything there. And I'm just going to call this Workshop Pickup. Make it 1250. Click on that finish. Here, I just rename my scene graph as Workshop Pickup. Come on, damn it. Just put a hyphen there, make sure that there are no spaces. Update, okay. And I'm going to save this right over Workshop Pickup. So we built the object. Now let's give it a gid right quick. I've already done this a couple of times because this is like the third take, so I already have all this information available. I grab my gid, copy, hop back over to SimPE, paste it there, check update all mmats, click that update, click commit, and that's our OBJD. Go to texture, select TXTR in the resource tree, go to the one that says pick up white in the resource list. We right click in the plugin, build DXT, open, and I grab pickup body like so. DXT1 is just fine. And we commit. We're going to have to build another subset later, but I'm just getting the TXTR set up. So now we need to do the GMDC. We select the GMDC in the resource tree. We select the TS locator in the resource list. We right click, extract, and I'm going to save that over SMORD reference, because this is the original SMORD skeleton that we'll be using. And that's it for SimPE. Now we hop over to Milkshape. Now, with Milkshape open, we go File, Import, Sims 2 Unimesh version 4.09. We grab that SMORD reference. You can see, yay, there's our SMORD. There are all of the little joints. Let's just turn off colored groups for now. Now let's hop over to our Joints tab. And what happens when we double click on these joints? Sorry, we hop over to the Joints tab, uncheck Draw Vertices with bone colors. Let's check Draw Vertex Weights. So now, if we click joints that are actually assigned to something, for example, the right front tire is assigned to this joint. Then that's the driver's door, passenger's door, that's the tailgate. We can just see how that's toolbox lid. We're not using that. That's the main body of the truck. You can see how all of these are jointed. So we need to import our model and we need to assign it to those joints. We hop back over to the model tab. We file, import, wavefront OBJ, and I'm grabbing old pickup. This is a model that I built. I'm not going to go into meshing and repositioning in this workshop because the focus of this workshop is joint assignment. So we just import our old pickup. And yeah, we can kind of see what's going on. If we hide the Maxis groups, for example, this is just my pickup. Okay. Let's unhide all for a minute because we need to figure out what goes where. So joint 0, nothing assigned to that. Joint 1, joint 2, joint 3, joint 4, until we get to joint 5. And that is the left front. So we hold down shift, we hop over to groups, and let's just hide surface for now. We need to find left front. So we scroll all the way down here, holding down shift so the joint remains selected. We select left front. And then we hop over to joints and we click assign. And you see immediately when you click assign, that turns red. Okay, so we're done with left front. Let's just give that a quick hide. Joint. Oh, and then let's unhide just surface. Back to joints. We click joint 6. That's nothing. Joint 7. That is right front. So we hold down shift. We hop over to groups. Right front. We select. And we assign. And immediately that turns red. So let's hide right front. Let's keep surface unhidden. And we keep going. Joint 8. What is joint 8? So joint 8 is the driver's side door. Go to groups. And there are multiple subsets here that should be assigned to this joint. So we go to driver outer, hold down shift and select. Then driver inner. Once again, hold down shift and select, and driver glass. No, that's wrong. The driver and passenger glass in my model are messed up. So select passenger glass. That's the ticket. Hop back over to joints. Assign. Swing back over to groups and driver outer. We can hide that. Driver inner. We can hide that. And driver glass. No, passenger glass, sorry. Now, let's go to joint 9. So this is the passenger door. Hold down shift, head over to groups, passenger outer, hold down shift, we select that, passenger inner, we select that as well, and it's driver glass because I labeled it backwards. Hop over to joints and assign. Hop back over to groups. Can hide driver glass. We can hide passenger outer can be hidden and passenger inner. So we're making progress. If we hide the surface right quick, we can see there's not oh, that's some access glass. Never mind. If we hide everything that we've already assigned, we're making progress. Now, let's unhide surface. Go back to joints. Select joint A. That is our tailgate. So we go to, let's hide surface. We need to find tailgate. There's our tailgate. We hold down shift. We select tailgate. hop back over to joints, assign, hide tailgate, and then unhide surface. The surface is the Maxis vehicle, just so that we're clear. That's a toolbox lid. We don't need that. Okay, joint C on the SMORD is the main body. So let's go back to groups, hold down shift, hide surface, and then in our subsets, we select body, we select interior, we select front glass, we select rear glass, we select lights, and I believe that is everything on this joint. We go back to joints, we assign. Okay, and then let's go ahead and hide everything that we've already assigned so we don't lose our place. Lights. And that should be just the Maxis stuff. Let's get rid of this glass so we don't have to see it for now. Okay, so on the body of our vehicle, we should just have the two rear tires. We go to joints, click D, and now it should be super easy. We don't even need to unhide surface. Click E. E is not it. F. So F, if you scoot in the 3D viewport, we've got our left rear. So we go back to model. No, sorry, back to groups. And we're looking for left rear. Select, assign. We can hide that. There. Joint 10. That doesn't seem to be anything. Joint 11. That is our right rear. So back over to groups. Right rear. Hold down shift and then select. And then hop over to joints and assign. So let's unhide all. And then let's hide everything Maxis. Okay. Then we hop back over to joints. We uncheck draw vertex weights. We check draw vertices with bone colors. And everything appears to be assigned to the skeleton. So now we can just uncheck this. We hop back over to groups and let's get rid of that wireframe overlay. Okay, now that everything is assigned correctly, we need to start regrouping. So select none. We grab body. We grab driver outer, passenger outer, because this is everything outside the truck goes on one map. The inners and interior we don't mess with. Right front, left front, right rear, left rear, and tailgate. All of those groups, we regroup, and this needs to be named surface. So when we import this, this is going to be the surface subset. So we're done with that Maxis thingy. And let's just hide surface so we can see what's left. Okay, now we've got driver inner. Select that. Passenger inner, select that as well. And interior, we're going to regroup that. And then we rename it interior. If I could spell, rename, and let's hide that. Making progress. So lights, what I'm going to do, I just copy from the original Maxis subset name. Just copy that there. And rename our lights to that. And then move that down the list all the way down to the bottom. And let's give it a hide. Okay, and so we're done with headlights. Now, front glass, we find the one that says glass front. We copy the name, we paste the name, we rename glass front. Then we can delete that, the Maxis one, and move glass front down to the bottom. Then we've got rear glass. We do the same. We find the subset name for the Maxis rear. These are separate names because that's the way that the environment cube plays on the reflection. We kind of need to keep these as they are. We just rename rear glass. We move that down. And we can hide. Glass right. That's going to be passenger glass. Hide. And then glass left. That's going to be driver glass. We rename. And then we just delete those last two Maxis subsets. Unhide all. And there we have it. It looks pretty good. Going to call this pickup WIP2. And then we go File, Export, Sims 2 Unimesh Exporter version 4.09. And I'm going to call that old-pickup. Best practice, don't leave spaces. Use hyphens or underscores. Okay, so now we're ready for final assembly. So we left SimPE as it was. We just come back into SimPE. We select the GMDC in the resource tree and the TS locator GMDC in the resource list. We right click, replace, and we grab old pickup, the one that we just exported. Give it a quick preview. And well, we're good to go. That texture has a blood stain in it. That's so cool. So we commit and we save. GMDC is done. Now we need to add a subset. We go to TXTR, grab pickup white, and I just clone. Grab the cloned resource. Right click build DXT in the right click the plugin, select build DXT in the drop down. We open, we grab the interior subset. DXT3 is just fine. We build. Then we change the file name to interior. Oh, that's wrong. Interior. We commit. We're good to go. Then go to the SHPE. we go to the top one, the one that says vehicle pickup new. We don't want the root rot. We want the one that actually has parts in it. So surface white, we grab that line, we add, and here I'm going to change the name to interior. And the material, I'm just going to call that interior. Give that a quick commit. Then we go to the TXMT in the resource tree. We find that surface white. Now I know that this is a little bit shinier than I need it to be. So first I'm going to go to categorize properties. In the environment cube coefficient, I'm just going to drop that down to 10, because I want the exterior to be a little bit metallic. We just drop that shine down to about 10 because 33 is way too much. Then we grab that resource, we right click, clone. We change our file name to interior. Then we change the texture name after the dash to interior. We go to the file list tab, select the resource name, and once again, we make that interior. Then we go to the categorize properties tab. The interior, that should be even less shiny. So I'm just going to go 0, space 0, comma, space 0. Just like that. Commit. Give that a quick save. Then we go Tools, Object Tools, Fix Integrity. Leave that as it is. Click OK. Give that a quick save. Go back to GMDC. And let's hide the glass front so that we can actually see the interior. Give that a quick preview. And interior is enabled. We're ready to test. Okay, so you can see we've got the pickup in our game, and we've got our two dudes. I'm going to have him sit in the vehicle. So doors are working pretty well. And let's have Eric sit in the vehicle.
ماشي يلا اسلم موف لو كل بلان يلا
Annoying. So let's take a spin.
وشين
And for some reason, that wheel just does not animate, but okay, and that's pretty much it. That's how you would animate a complicated mesh like a vehicle.